guys, we have, at number 10, Harry has the same birthday as J.K. Rowling. So many of the Harry Potter books begin on Harry's birthday, the 31st of July. Now, J.K. Rowling was born in 1965, whereas Harry was born in 1980, so he'd be in his late 30s right now. J.K. picked her birthday as Harry's birthday because of the affinity she feels with the character. At number 9, the Dementors are a symbol of depression. So you remember the Dementors, right? They're like terrifying soul suckers that guard Azkaban. Well, J.K. has revealed that she created them as a symbol of depression, and they were brought to life to help her voice her struggle with the disease. So J.K. unfortunately started suffering from bouts of depression after her mother passed away following a battle with multiple sclerosis. When a character is in the presence of a Dementor, the feeling described is depression. Now, she explained this to Oprah Winfrey, and she said it's really difficult to describe depression for someone who's never been there because she knows that it's not sadness. J.K. said, "I know sadness. Sadness is to cry and to feel, but it's a cold absence of feeling, that really hollowed out feeling, and that's what the Dementors are." So it seems like J.K. Rowling is able to create great things with sadness, channeling them into engaging literary ideas, and our next Harry Potter fact is also a prime example of this. At number 8, Quidditch was invented after J.K. Rowling fell out with her then boyfriend. Now, I absolutely love how open J.K. Rowling is and how willing she is to reveal extra details about the books. In an annotated version of the book she auctioned for charity, she reveals that Quidditch was invented in a small hotel in Manchester following the argument. She said, "I'd been pondering the things that hold a society together, cause it to congregate and signify its particular character, and I knew I needed a sport." She said, "It infuriates men, which is quite satisfying given my state of mind when I invented it. This is also possibly why the game is so violent, like bludger to the face." In at number 7, Rupert Grint, aka Ron, auditioned in a dress. There are so many things to love about Rupert Grint, and one of them is his audition for Harry Potter. After hearing he could audition by sending in a tape to UK children's news show Newsround, he donned a wig and a dress and dressed up like his female drama teacher. He also fashioned a short rap for the audition which went, "Hello, my name's Rupert Grint, I hope you don't think I stink." Wow, how cute is that? It didn't rhyme, but I for one love it. I absolutely hope that this audition tape gets released at some point because it is comedy gold. Side fact for you, Rupert Grint and Tom Felton, who plays Draco Malfoy, are actually besties in real life. And also, Tom originally went for the role of Ron. Facts. In at number 6, J.K. Rowling thought up Harry Potter while waiting for a train. Now, train delays can be the worst, and unfortunately poor J.K. Rowling once had to wait 4 hours for her train to get moving. However, she didn't know that these would be the 4 hours that changed her life forever. The way she describes it is that during the delay waiting for the train from Manchester to King's Cross, the idea just strolled into her head. This is maybe why London King's Cross and the Hogwarts Express play such large roles in the series. Can you imagine $1 billion idea just strolling into your head? Amazing. In at number 5, Steven Spielberg was going to direct Harry Potter. So Chris Columbus directed Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone and the Chamber of Secrets. After that, 3 more directors worked on the films. However, the initial directorial pick was Steven Spielberg. So if Spielberg had had his way, the movies would have been an animated series and would have starred the kid from Sixth Sense as Harry, that's Haley Joel Osment. After talks, Spielberg withdrew from the project, saying it wasn't challenging enough for him. In at number 4, Malfoy means bad faith and Dumbledore means strong white bumblebee. In an interview with Stephen Fry, the British comedian and narrator of the UK audiobooks, Fry asks J.K. Rowling what Malfoy means. And this is because many characters' names have meanings. Now, she replied, "Well, Malfoy is a made-up name, but you could say it's Old French for bad faith." Now, Dumbledore's full name, Albus Percival Wulfric Brian Dumbledore, actually has a meaning. So Albus is the Latin name for white, Wulfric was the name of a 12th century saint, Percival was a knight of Arthur's Round Table, and may also mean pierce the veil, suggesting an ability to return from the dead. Now, Brian is a Celtic name meaning strong, Dumbledore is an Old English word meaning bumblebee, so I guess if we string that all together, we get a strong, white, holy, noble bumblebee, which I guess is about right. In at number 3, Ginny Weasley became a professional Quidditch player. So I love that J.K. Rowling still gives us insights into what each character is up to. Now, she mostly does this on her fan site Pottermore. For example, we now know that George Weasley went on to turn Weasley's Wizarding Wheezes into a successful business and then married Angelina Johnson. Good on him. We also know that Luna Lovegood got married in a rainbow dress with a crown of unicorn horns, and we also know, my favourite, Ginny, as well as marrying Harry and having 3 children, went on to become a professional Quidditch player for the Holyhead Harpies. J.K. Rowling also said that she retired to take care of her kids and then became the senior Quidditch correspondent for the Daily Prophet. In at number 2, some of you guys may know this, some of you may not, Dumbledore was gay. So in a way, Dumbledore was the absolute epitome of tolerance. He was the champion of rights for werewolves, house elves, giants, muggleborns, centaurs, and even merpeople, so this makes a lot of sense. Nonetheless, J.K. Rowling dropped an absolute bomb on the books when she outed Dumbledore as gay at a talk in Carnegie Hall in New York. She said, "Dumbledore is gay, he was smitten with Gellert Grindelwald, who he beat in a battle years before." She added, "Falling in love can blind us to an extent. Dumbledore was horribly, terribly let down, and his love for Grindelwald was his great tragedy." A fan even tweeted at J.K. Rowling saying, "Thank you so much for writing Harry Potter. I wonder why you said that Dumbledore is gay, because I can't see him that way." Now, J.K.'s reply is the absolute best. She said, "Maybe that's because gay people just look like people." And you know what? She's right. So guys, we have reached that all-important moment in our most amazing top 10 facts about Harry Potter, and this has to have been one of my favourite top 10s I've ever scripted because I love it so much. And my number 1 fact that many of you fans will already know, but I am just so excited. At number 1, there is an 8th book coming, kind of. So, Michael Jackson once approached Rowling about making a musical based on the books, but she turned it down. Now this was perhaps a wise choice, however she has now decided to continue Harry's story on stage in a play that will run at London's Palace Theatre called Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Now the play will tell the story of Harry's second son, Albus Severus, and his struggle with his father's past. Now I'm really into theatre, so I've already booked a ticket to see the show in London, and I can tell you that it is in safe hands. Sonia Friedman is producing it and it is directed by John Tiffany. Stephen Hoggart is doing the movement, which may mean nothing to you, but as a person that knows West End theatre, this is the perfect recipe for success. Coming in at number 10, we have Gollum. Gollum was spotted in the valleys of Heirio in North Beijing near the Great Wall of China. I may not have said that right, but Gollum was there. I kind of think the Great Wall is pretty far from Middle Earth, but I could be wrong. So a Chinese tourist snapped Gollum hanging out as they were hiking and went off trail for a pee. I know that feeling, you don't want to see anything creepy. He said, "I walked far away to have a pee and suddenly I saw a monster. I took a few pictures of it, but I'm now terrified." They shared the image on the internet and it quickly went viral, with a host of people suggesting that he had found Gollum. Perhaps the monster is crouched over looking for his precious in the shrubbery. The mystery was however solved when an actor claimed that the image was actually of him shooting a sci-fi movie. He was in costume. Although some people say that the actor coming forward is all a big part of a wider Chinese government cover-up. Who knows? Coming in at number 9, we have Cthulhu. Cthulhu, for those of you who aren't au fait with Lovecraft's greatest monster, is a mythical creature of epic proportions said to be part dragon, part octopus, and part squid. All of the good parts. Looking at it is said to send a human insane, which is, you know, cool. Classic monster. Cthulhu was spotted over the ocean in Vancouver in 2007. There it is, just emerging from some horrifying looking clouds. Cthulhu, what you do. This wasn't the only sighting either. The Elder God was also spotted over a highway amid a tornado in the United States, although Snopes had something to say about that. If Cthulhu is lurking in the clouds, what else could be out there? Maybe it's Dementors at number 8. Dementors are soul suckers from the Harry Potter series. When they're around, you'll know it because you'll feel cold and utterly joyless. What do they look like? Hooded cloak figures that seem to impossibly float above the ground. I never want to come face to face with a Dementor. Now if this isn't a real life Dementor, then what on earth is it? This terrifying and very odd cloud formation appeared over a mall in the city of Kitwe in Zambia. The scary vapor ghoul looked to be about 100 meters long and was watching over a shopping center in the city for half an hour. Eyewitnesses said that some started worshipping the cloud formation thinking it was a manifestation of God, while others ran away. I, however, would straight up produce my Patronus and blast that soulsucker bay away. My Patronus is a dapple grey mare, by the way. What's yours? Keeping it Harry Potter related at number 7, we have Dobby the house elf. He lives! lives! Dobby is a free elf! Say it with me now. So I was surprised to see Dobby trending on Twitter over the weekend, and even more surprised to see the reason why. Dobby was spotted on a security camera positioned in someone's driveway. Now the whole thing kicked off on Twitter when J-Bay tweeted this footage with the caption, "A lady posted this and said she saw something on her home camera this morning. What y'all think it is?" The internet was quick to respond with exactly what they thought it was, the late great house elf. The video was posted just 4 days before the recording of this video, and it's already racked up 30 million views. Go get it, Dobby. Okay, next up, I thought that Momo was fiction, but it turns out maybe it's not. At number 6, we have Momo. I had no idea where the horrifying Momo picture associated with the online self-harm challenge came from. Momo quickly became an internet urban legend, and honestly, I thought that her scary face came from Photoshop, but no, actually, she's real. Kind of. She was the work of a Japanese artist and sculptor, Kazuki Aiso, who created the art piece called Motherbird back in 2016. The piece was for an alternative art gallery and has since rotted and been thrown away by the artist. Yes, rotted. Speaking to The Sun about his art was memeified, the artist said, "I have mixed feelings about the people who have done this. On the one hand, they have caused me nothing but trouble, but on the other hand, as an artist, I have a little sense of appreciation that my art piece has been seen across the world." So there you go, guys. Momo lives. Or at least she did until she went rotten and had to be thrown out. Gross. Okay, taking it in a much happier direction at number 5, we have Santa Claus. Could it be? Is it he? Santa is one of the more mysterious folks out there, only appearing between the 24th to 25th of December just to give people presents. Why though? What is the meaning of all of this? In Noble County, Indiana, a driver of a police car caught Santa and his reindeer flying overhead on his dash cam. Obviously, it was immediately shared on social media. I mean, if I'd just snapped Santa on his sleigh, I'd be straight on Instagram, and then maybe Twitter, and then maybe Facebook. I don't have Snapchat. Maybe I should get it. The LaGrange County Sheriff's Department shared the image on Facebook with the caption, "Photo taken from the dashcam of a Noble County patrol car in the southern part of Noble County, heading northbound a short time ago. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night." The image was shared 8,500 times, but I do smell a bit of a rat. Was it Santa, or was it just a cheeky way of wishing everyone Merry Christmas? Either way, hooray for Santa! But boo for El Chupacabra at number 4. Is it a wild dog, or is it the mythical Chupacabra? A Chupacabra is a legendary creature in folklore. It's kind of like a blood-sucking animal vampire that we're gonna call a demon. Why not? Demon. Demon! The legend of El Chupacabra is most popular in Puerto Rico, northern Mexico, and the southern states of the USA, especially Texas. If you'd seen our Texas urban legend video, we actually talk about a sighting of a Chupacabra. So the creature was spotted on a police dash cam, and the officer involved in the incident was totally vexed. The footage was taken in 2008 and has caused debate ever since. The video description reads, "A police dashboard camera catches what some might think may be the proof that the legendary Chupacabra lives and roams in the fields of the Lone Star State." The creature was seen running down a old rural Texas road. To me, this actually kind of looks like a wild dog rather than a Chupacabra, but people are refusing to budge on the whole legendary creature thing. They believe. They believe!
What is that? Oh man. Woo!
Coming in at number 3, we have Loki. That time the Norse god Loki took the bus, right? What if Loki was one of us? Just a stranger on the bus, trying to make his way home. Oh, Loki. I mean, obviously Loki's riding the bus, because who wants to, fly or whatever? Yet here he is. There he is. I found this picture hidden in the inner belly, the deep depths of the internet, and I decided it definitely needed an airing. It reads, "I am Loki of Asgard, and I am burdened with glorious purpose." Aren't you just, mate? The reflection in the bus window is pretty perfect. Loki! Now I really need to spot Thor in real life. Ooh, Thor. Maybe I could date Thor. Coming in at number 2, we have Batman. Officers in Maryland, USA pulled over a black Lamborghini with no tags on Route 29 in 2012. The footage ended up on news publication The Telegraph's YouTube page. Why? Well, as we watch from the perspective of the dashcam, we see that the guy who gets out of the car is dressed as freaking Batman. Have a watch. The comments of this video are pretty golden. I heartily agree with JMAATV, who wrote, "Honestly, if I had enough money to buy a Lamborghini, I'd just buy a Batman costume and drive around too. Like, right? There actually is a bit of a sad story here though. It seems that the man behind the costume was a man named Lenny B. Robinson. He was a guy who was indeed rich enough to buy a Lambo, so he also bought a Batman costume and drove around in it, living the dream. He used to also go to children's hospitals to make the kids feel better too, and by all accounts he was a great guy. Sadly, he died in 2015. Now this was just 3 years after the footage was captured.
Okay, Batman. Okay. Okay. How are you? Good.
His Batmobile broke down on the interstate and he was struck by another passing vehicle. His younger brother Scott spoke to the Washington Post and said he touched a lot of lives and made a lot of kids smile. Rest in peace, Batman. Rest in peace indeed. Coming into number 1, we have Slender Man. Oh, I thought we were done with you. Is it true? Maybe this is Slender Man. Slender Man has been spotted an uncomfortable number of times. In June 2015, he was spotted on a rooftop in Mexico. Look! Oh, but warning, he's nude. What an exhibitionist. What do you think? Was that him? Also in 2015, worldwide news publication The Mirror published an article claiming to have genuine photographs of Slender Man on the loose in the woods in Staffordshire in England. He gets around though. In 2014, 2 teens were found walking along a highway, with a third girl found stabbed and bleeding out in a nearby woodland. Morgan Gazer and Anissa Weir said that they had seen him in the woodlands near Waukesha in Wisconsin, USA. Is that how you pronounce that, guys? Let me know. They claimed Slender Man had told them that if they didn't stab their friend, then he wouldn't let them live with him, and worse still, as they'd seen him, he would kill their families in 3 seconds. Honestly, how utterly devastating. I can't believe this was enough to make them stab their friend. But what did they see?
Coming in at number 10, we have Josh Herdman as Goyle. Where is he now? The spotlight may not have been on Herdman a lot during the series because he was Goyle and he was trailing after Draco Malfoy the entire time. Herdman is a part of a family legacy of athletes, being the son of rugby league football player Martin Herdman. After filming Rap, Josh took a break and began to launch his career as an MMA fighter. When he returned to acting, he appeared in a dark noir detective series called Marcella, and even put his MMA skills to good use in Robin Hood, directed by Otto Bathurst. Next up for Herdman is a short film called Corner Boy that also combines his love for MMA and acting, so keep your eyes peeled and maybe you might see him. Coming in at number 9, we have Sean Biggerstaff, aka Oliver Wood. Known to us Harry Potter fans as the charming Quidditch captain who introduces the title man himself to the legendary sport of Quidditch. He was in both the first and second movies and made a brief appearance in Deathly Hallows Part 2, but has since worked on films such as Mary Queen of Scots, perfect for the Scottish actor, Whiskey Galore, and even made an appearance on the miniseries Jenny, the Doctor's Daughter, as Noah. He's also continued his career on the stage, but when will we see this familiar face back on the big screen? Well, keep your eyes peeled for horror film Hector and Himself, which was just announced. Biggerstaff will be playing the lead role of Hector Green. Coming in at number 8, Fiona Shaw, Mrs. Dursley. Oftentimes when people play villains, we tend to hate the actor a little bit, which means they did an absolutely amazing job. We have to talk about Fiona Shaw. Hopefully you recognize that name as she plays one of the most hated characters to hit the screen, Mrs. Dursley. Prior to Harry Potter, Shaw had already built a celebrated career in Britain, but since then, we've seen a lot of Fiona across the pond in award-winning shows such as True Blood, Killing Eve, Fleabag, and in Enola Holmes. From power-hungry witch to distant and mysterious Carolyn Martins to flirtatious and dutiful Miss Harrison, Shaw has easily become an actor to watch out for. So what's next? Well, just announced on our IMDb, Shaw will be playing Countess Markievicz in a new film called The Rising 1916. Countess Markievicz was an Irish politician, revolutionary, and suffragette who was the first woman to be elected to the Westminster Parliament. So we can only assume the film will surround the events leading up to this. Just how Fiona Shaw will bring this historical figure to life will of course remain entirely in her hands, and I can't wait to see it. Coming in at number 7, Harry Melling. Speaking of characters we love to hate, we've got Harry Melling, aka Dudley Dursley, and you would never recognize him now. If you thought he was still the same full-figured Dursley we know and love to hate, then you are dead wrong. The first time Melling appeared outside of the HBO universe, he appeared as Gilly in the magical TV series Merlin, and you could barely recognize him. I was completely shocked. He lost so much weight that for his last appearance in Harry Potter, they made him wear a fat suit and even considered replacing him altogether, which like thankfully they didn't because we love him. After HP, he went on to study Atlanta, but left early to act alongside Fiona Shaw in Mother of Courage and Her Children at the National Theatre. Melling has definitely experienced a glow up and has now gone on to appear in shows like The Musketeers, His Dark Materials, and The Queen's Gambit. What's next for Melling? Well, this is another case of patience is a virtue, as we are waiting on 2 productions to be released. One being The Tragedy of Macbeth as Malcolm, ooh, and Please Baby Please. Will Melling give us another show-stopping transformation? I guess we will have to wait and see. Coming in at number 6, Tom Felton! We are doing all the villains. As next up we have Tom Felton. I think it's difficult for anyone to picture Tom with anything but bleach, blonde, sleeked back hair, but that's definitely not what he looks like now. If you follow the actor on social media, he is entirely opposite of the character he played in Harry Potter, Draco Malfoy. He's not only continuing to add fantastic films to his resume, he's also a fantastic indie musician. That being said though, if you're expecting Tom to revamp his villain persona, you're in luck. If you caught the film A Babysitter's Guide to Monster Hunting, you might have missed him because the CGI was so intense I actually almost missed him entirely, though he plays a lead role. Though he is once again a villain, it is so far from Draco Malfoy. Tom plays the evil monster every child fears behind every closet door and beneath the dark corners of their beds. But for those loving the hero vibe, he's got some of that coming our way too, as Felton is starring in a new epic World War II film called The Forgotten Battle. Number 5, Matthew Lewis. I'm pretty sure this guy invented the glow up and coined the term long bottomed. That's right, coming up next we have Matthew Lewis, aka Neville Longbottom. Matthew Lewis's prepubescent self was initially cast as the dweeby, clumsy, yet brave Neville Longbottom. But that all changed as Matthew Lewis turned into the man he is today and emerged as yet another talented heartthrob hailing from the UK. There's so many of them. Side by side, if you put the young picture together and him together, you'd be like, is that the same person? If you're also a massive fan of British television, then you may have seen him take over the town, appearing in, I don't know, shows like Happy Valley, which is, by the way, one of my absolute favorite shows, Ripper Street, Drunk History UK, but viewers were surprised and delighted to see the revamp of All Creatures Great and Small featured this iconic Harry Potter actor as one of the lead characters, Hugh Houghton, which is where you can find him today. Coming in at number 4, Domhnall Gleeson as Bill Weasley. Fans familiar with Domhnall Gleeson's brooding and rugged appearance as Bill Weasley have a lot coming for them. Despite featuring as a smaller role in the franchise, Gleeson has followed in his father's footsteps by creating an acting legacy of his own, going on to star in films such as Never Let Me Go, About Time, Ex Machina, and Star Wars. Domhnall Gleeson has proved over and over again that no role is too big or too small for this actor to make it memorable. His next project is currently in development, as he will be taking on the role of John Dean in the new TV series The White House Plumbers. Villain, hero, lover, fighter, clown, anything is possible regarding what's next for Gleeson. Coming in at number 3, we have Robbie Coltrane as Hagrid, the lovable groundskeeper at Hogwarts, famed for charming phrases like, oh, shouldn't have said that. That's me every day. Robbie Coltrane is one of those actors that constantly has HP fans asking while watching any random show, wait a minute, is that Hagrid? Or at least that's what I find myself doing. Coltrane started acting in his 20s and was Rowling's first choice when casting the role of Hagrid. Since the decade of Harry Potter films passed, Coltrane mainly works now on his show called Critical Evidence and doesn't appear to be returning to acting anytime soon. But if you've ever seen films like Brave, Arthur's Christmas, and Van Helsing, you've certainly heard him. Coltrane is the voice you hear in movies that always sounds familiar and you're not sure why, and adds the perfect gruffness for any creepy characters you need, like Mr. Hyde from Van Helsing, or like a cheery elf in Arthur's Christmas. So who knows, next time you randomize your Netflix, you might just show up for a visit. Coming in at number 2, we have Rupert Grint. Wait, okay, hold on. So this we actually have to talk about. So how did this go from this to this, my mind is boggled. Rupert Grint is another one of those actors in HBU who had a glow up. Everyone knows actor Rupert Grint for having played the absolutely adorable yet fumbly Ronald Weasley in the Wizarding World. But he has come so far from that role because have you seen him in the show Snatch? There is not a trace of Ronald Weasley left. Grint has gone on to appear and star in several TV shows and movies, but his role as Charlie Cavendish leaves his hand-me-down robes in the dust. The series is based off of the original movie Snatch, directed by Guy Ritchie, and Rupert fits right in with this dark comedy. And it looks as though we can expect his roles to get even darker. He will also appear in a thriller TV series called The Servant as Julian Pierce, and considering it's directed by M. Night Shyamalan, who knows what we can expect next. And lastly, number 1, Zoe Wanamaker, Madame Rolanda Hooch. One of the coolest characters in the series is Madame Hooch. Fight me, I think she's so cool. The gym teacher we always wanted because she taught us how to fly on broomsticks, which is the dream. The Harry Potter movie series is no stranger to hiring iconic British actors to fill some of its most memorable roles, Madame Hooch being no exception. Rolanda Hooch is played by Zoe Wanamaker, who has created a legacy on both the stage and screen. So, what's she doing next? Well, if you've heard the buzz from book lovers everywhere, you may know that the Shadow and Bone series has launched on Netflix. No spoilers, guys. Currently still reading the books before I absolutely binge the show, but if you haven't already, then you may have spotted our beloved flying coach taking on another tougher teacher role as Bagra. But as opposed to the hawk-eyed, chic, styling Quidditch coach, Bagra is a teacher with a secret agenda that may end up helping save the world. Ooh.